Dear students, let us begin with the second part of the lesson on India and ASEAN, in which we will discuss about the challenges between India and the ASEAN countries. Several studies, including recent statement by Indian Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, have estimated the potential of India-ASEAN trade to be around $300 billion US. However, in 2022, the actual trade between India and ASEAN was only $110 billion US, approximately one-fourth of its potential, even though it has been almost 2 decades since the free trade agreement in goods came into force. India lags significantly behind the European Union, the United States, China, Japan, Australia and the Republic of Korea as a trading partner of ASEAN. Similarly, foreign direct investment inflows from India into ASEAN countries is lacking, with a notable exception in the case of India's close relationship with Singapore. Despite these challenges, there are expectations that trade between India and ASEAN countries will reach around $300 billion US by 2025. To assess ASEAN-India relations and explore new avenues for development, an ASEAN-India Eminent Persons Group was established in 2010. One of the group's key recommendations was to achieve a steady target of $200 billion US in trade between India and ASEAN by 2022. In contrast, China's total trade value with ASEAN has significantly increased, reaching $685.28 billion US in 2020. This growth rate underscores China's rising influence in ASEAN is a concern for India. India faces a substantial negative trade balance with ASEAN countries. This has prevented it from joining the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, a mega trade partnership concluded between ASEAN and its dialogue partners, excluding the United States and India. India is in the process of revising the ASEAN-India bilateral FTA to address the significant trade imbalance favoring ASEAN countries. The necessity for India to opt out of RCEP to protect its domestic firms from unfair competition highlights the crucial responsibility of the Indian government to enhance the competitiveness of its domestic companies in a liberalized world. India faces significant challenges in boosting connectivity with ASEAN countries, despite reported plans to extend the trilateral highway beyond Myanmar and Thailand to other Southeast Asian nations. The initial connectivity project involving India, Myanmar and Thailand has not become operational due to topographical disadvantages in certain sections of Myanmar and delays arising from unsatisfactory performance by Indian contractors. The Kaladan multimodal project, originally scheduled for completion in 2014, remains unfinished, contributing to the lack of desired momentum in India's connectivity to ASEAN. Additionally, there are issues of inadequate maritime and air connectivity between India and ASEAN countries. India has bilateral aviation policy agreements with all ASEAN nations renegotiated as per changing needs. Presently, 18 destinations in India offer unrestricted operating rights to ASEAN air carriers, including significant cities like Tiruchirappalli, Hyderabad, Kolkata and Mumbai. However, the open skies policy has been deemed more detrimental than beneficial for the Indian aviation industry. Proposals such as the inclusion of Chandigarh on international routes for ASEAN countries were not approved for foreign carriers, indicating a reluctance to compete on a free and equal basis. The ministry explicitly stated that Changes to the existing list of 18 tourist destinations covered under the open sky policy were not advisable, emphasizing the need for Indian carriers to enhance their services and compete effectively. Several airports in India are not conducive to international flights due to a lack of demand for international travel from those areas, further complicating air connectivity issues. Effective institutional mechanisms between India and ASEAN are necessary to discuss and enhance air connectivity, addressing the current challenges and fostering better cooperation in this vital aspect of regional integration. Addressing these issues comprehensively is crucial for facilitating smoother and more efficient connectivity between India and ASEAN, promoting economic cooperation and collaboration in the region. ASEAN and India regularly organize conferences to strengthen cultural and civilizational linkages, acknowledging their rich historical connections dating back to ancient times. On the 25th anniversary of ASEAN-India dialogue relations in 2018, 60 commemorative events were held to celebrate this milestone. This included an ASEAN-India regional diaspora event in Singapore, a youth summit, a music festival, an artist retreat, and port calls by Indian naval ships, among others. While these commemorative events highlight the significance of the relationship, they fall short of sustained efforts needed to boost cultural ties throughout the year. It is regrettable that despite India's long historical association with Southeast Asia, unmatched even by the United States, China or Europe, very little has been done to exploit this soft power potential. I hope you understood about the challenges between India and the ASEAN countries. We will discuss about convergence of interest between India and the ASEAN countries in the next video. Thank you.